Okay, so let's just pretend like you hear brap in the background, but like brap, and that's all it sounds like because that's how the original video sounded like. All you could hear was brap when it was terrible. So now all you can hear is my dryer going in the background and my dog licking himself. And here's me riding down the road on my new 2017 FZ-07, which we'll get to in a minute. I'm talking about how I have a crappy camera because it's just a little Chinese camera and it has terrible audio and it clips really bad. And even when it sounded okay in the video, it sounds terrible on any cell phone that you replay it. And oh no, my glove! Looks like the gloves are coming off. I think we better fix that. Oh man, you gotta hand it to me. Those puns. Okay, so I'm talking about how I miss motovlogging and talking with my hands as I'm doing right there. And it feels good to be back on the bike, blah blah blah, but I'm so sorry once again about my audio. That's what I'm talking about right here. Talking about how my audio sucks and I feel bad because I really miss being on the bike and I finally have a motorcycle but I don't have a good audio setup and I get distracted by this house and I talk about how this house is like super orange 70s colors and I love it, but they had a hard time selling it because of the colors and I'm like, I wouldn't change a thing because it's like straight out of the Brady Bunch and I think it's awesome. And if you saw my living room you'd understand. And then we flash forward to, I talk about how this is where the road closed. I would normally go through on my supermoto, but I can't anymore because my bike, even though I put knobbies on it, the new FZ-07 is too low to the ground. I don't have the ground clearance. So it's more set up like a flat track, like a street tracker, not like an actual dual sport. Like it can go on dirt as long as there aren't any obstacles. Hey look, it says cracker. Let's park right here because that's funny. And so that's what I did. And then I go to put my kickstand down and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of sinky. So I better make this quick. So I get off the bike and I'm going to make this quick. Okay, ready? And now I'm going to go, it's going to go ta-da. So here's my new bike. I have a 2017 Yamaha FZ-07. I put Continental TKC80 dual sport tires on it. I put a skid plate on it. I put a windshield on it, and I changed the rear fender out, or the rear hug guard thing for red. I put on engine guards. I put on hand guards that have mirrors built into the ends of them, right there. And then I also put on CRV levers, which feel amazing. And I have a full system Danmoto exhaust, which I love, and it's obnoxiously loud. I put on those thingies, tank thing side things, fender eliminator, of course, that always looks good. But the oh, and there's a spider, that's cute, a little cute spider, he's going for a ride. And I'm rambling about something I don't even remember at this point. Oh yeah, skid plate, moto. Oh, I talk about how it's too loud. That pipe is so loud I can't even motovlog right now because my bike is that loud that the microphone clips the entire time. And the microphone has freaked out because of it, and even when the bike's not running, like right now, you can't understand me. It just sounds like... And I did add axle sliders front and rear, but they're pointless on this side because the exhaust pipe goes right over it. So I want to have the pipe shortened and mounted to like right there. And I found a shop that'll do it for like $100, but I don't have that right now because... Here's my biggest news, which is that I am having surgery. I don't know why I put my gloves back on for this. I think I end up taking them back off. I don't remember. But I'm telling you that I have been diagnosed with something called nutcracker syndrome. So here's your left kidney. Here's your right kidney. And there is a vein coming from your left kidney. It's the main vein that takes all the blood clean from your kidney. It's supposed to go back through to the main vein that goes back to your heart. What's my thumb pointing to your heart? But the trouble is it passes right between these two main arteries. And one's the aorta something something and one starts with an M. And I'm not a doctor. The trouble is where mine passes through, it's up too high. And so when it passes through there, it's way up too high in that little branch. And so it's getting pinched off, compressed. And mine is 77% compressed, which has the effect of wearing a tourniquet on your left kidney. And it hurts really bad, and I have all this side pain and weird stomach issues and lower back pain they thought was sciatic pain, and it's not. And I've been to cardiologists because my heart beats all weird, and they did find a heart murmur, and I do have mitral valve prolapse, but none of that. I don't know what I'm pointing to here. It's just random hand signals. So, so the surgery is to go in and fix where that is, because the doctors had never been able to figure out why before, and now that they know why I have all these other weird symptoms, they can go in and fix it. And I'm going to demonstrate here what the plan is. I think I'm about to go walk around the bike and show you. It's called a left renal vein transposition. I'm talking about why I have stomach problems and all these other things, and this, they found out this was why, because all the blood flow is messed up in my whole abdomen. So left renal vein transposition. So here's my abdomen, here's my boobs, and they're going to cut from here to, so let's pretend it's my belly button. We're going to cut from here to here, and they're going to pull me open, and they're going to scoop everything out, and they're going to access the vein, and they're going to detach it, they're going to move it down, and if it's too damaged, because you can get scar tissue that builds up from where it's been compressed right there, then they are going to borrow from a vein in my leg, and put it there to fix that. And then they're going to reattach it down lower. They're going to scoop everything back in, zip me back up, and Bob's your uncle. Cracker. And I'll have a pretty great scar tissue. I'll spend the first day after that in ICU. Obviously, they're concerned about internal bleeding and infection and all kinds of stuff, so, and clots. So a day in the ICU, and then a few more days in the hospital, and then 6 weeks off of work, which sucks because it'll be unpaid leave. Now, I have savings, and I have friends and family, so I'm not totally up a creek, and I'm certainly not asking for money. Friends are helping me out with groceries. People have been sending me care packages. I have family coming down. Batman's going to be staying with some local friends here that he knows that we've stayed with before. Because I can't, even for the first 2 weeks, I'm not allowed to even like lift anything over 10 pounds. So that means like I can't even pull on Batman's leash or anything, which I think I'm about to do here. I don't know what I'm doing. Random hand signals. Steal second. I don't know what I'm doing there. But so yeah, I think that was me pulling on the leash. That's what I was talking about that. So I'm going to be down for the count for a while. This video is largely unedited. I am doing this voiceover because the first time I uploaded it, it didn't, the audio was all messed up because my camera is a cheap Chinese knockoff that I got for 40 bucks off like Amazon. And then you get what you pay for. And so now I'm pointing to random things in the air. And yeah, that's the plan. It's a big surgery, but it's going to help out with a lot. Again, it's called nutcracker syndrome. It's weird. It's random. It's not super common. I was just so thrown a curveball when they told me after my last CT scan that they wanted me to see a vascular surgeon. I was like, what? I'm 34. Vascular surgeon? That's for old people. Like, that's like telling people you got to go see a urologist, you know? And, but it turns out, I mean, it was just such a curveball, but that's actually what it was. And I'd been to GI doctors and cardiologists, and nobody for the last forever, decades, has been able to figure out what was wrong with me. All these symptoms started when I was like 14, 15. And they didn't, it just really went downhill really fast in January. And I kept, my doctor insisted on sending me to extra imaging. And it was the first time I'd ever had a CT scan for that. I'd had colonoscopies, I'd had ultrasounds, I had all kinds of things. And there's a lot more to my story that's a little more personal that I'm not going to get into in a motovlog. At least not at this point. Maybe in the future, but I'm going to be facing a lot of recovery. I'm not going to be able to ride for a while. Well past the point I'll be back to work, because your core muscles, you know, you cut right through your core muscles. I can't exactly get back on a bike and go ride. And my bike is really loud. Maybe that'll give me time to figure out a better audio setup so I don't have to do a silly voiceover like this, like you're hearing right now, because yay, voiceover. I'm going to turn my bike on, and it's going to be obnoxious, and you won't be able to hear me anymore once the bike's running. But you couldn't hear me anyway, so I did a voiceover. A really bad voiceover. I'm not very good at this improv thing. And yeah, thank you.